Talking here, Frank, about the cultural heat that's going on at the moment. Obviously, I'm sure people are very aware of many topics that are pretty present in the media, in the news, and everywhere else that are pretty divisive amongst people.
Yeah, I feel like we're moving from one thing to be angry about to another thing to be angry about at a great rate of knots at the moment. And it's got me thinking about the kind of voice that I want to have and the things that I want to be talking about and how I talk about things. And so I've been doing something that I do every now and then, just refreshing my mind on how Scripture, particularly the New Testament, talks about how we conduct ourselves. And I think in the online space, it's really good for us Christians to really think about this, because I think a lot of online discussion is marked by sarcasm, it's marked by criticism, it's marked by quick emotive responses to things. And I think we Christians are called to another way. And I think listening is a significant part of that. But to emphasize this, I just want to raise a couple of scriptures. Many people will be familiar with the fruit of the Spirit in Galatians. So if you're living your life in the Spirit, it's going to be marked by particular attributes. And Galatians lists those, and many people know them: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. But a lot of people might not be aware of the things that come before that. The works of the flesh is what Paul calls them. And people might be aware of or have an instinctual understanding that would list things like sexual immorality, impurity, sensuality, idolatry, sorcery. But have a think about the discourse at the moment when it lists some other things there. So Paul lists enmity, strife. He also has in there fits of anger, rivalries, dissensions, divisions. Those things are the works of the flesh. So I think we Christians need to be challenged when it comes to how we conduct ourselves online, that if it starts to look like those things, it's probably not the fruit of the Spirit. If we duck forward to his letter to the church in Ephesus, it tells us to conduct ourselves like this and to talk like this. Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear. Then he goes on a little bit further and he says, let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and slander be put away from you along with all malice. I think those are good challenges. And then I think about Peter when he talks about being ready to give an answer for the hope that we have. We often miss the how of that. He says to do that with gentleness and respect. So when it comes to the online world, or when we're engaging with people who are different from us, I think we really need to think about how we conduct ourselves in a way that, as Paul encourages, gives grace. And in order to get there, we need to deal with some of our emotions when we want to respond, and to think, okay, what does it mean to truly listen? And what does it mean to listen to understand, not just to listen to respond and give my opinion?
All sounds very complicated, though, Frank. I don't know. Anger's very quick and easy. It definitely makes you feel good sometimes, just sort of, especially when you start a conversation with someone on a very complex issue by starting off by saying, hey, look, it's simple, right? Here's how it works. And it's this kind of I feel like this is the appetite of a lot of people. It's like it's too hard to weigh up the extreme complexity of many issues and the differing voices and a bit of this and a bit of that, and maybe the truth is somewhere in between, and all of that is a lot to carry, where it's easier to just be like, bad guy, good guy, you're wrong, this is right, done.
And with all of that too, Frank, sometimes when you're processing it all, especially in the online space, sometimes it's easier, not necessarily the right thing to do, it's easier to walk away.
I would actually say that in many instances, it is the best thing to do. I think we've been shaped into thinking we need to give our opinion on everything. And there's this line that gets popped out quite regularly: silence is complicity. That line is true if you have power and the ability to influence a situation towards the true, the beautiful, the good, and the right. But most of us, when we're commenting online, that's not what's happening. Most of us don't have the ability to influence the stuff that is going on. And so I think sometimes silence is actually wisdom, especially in an age where we're shaped to think we're supposed to say everything about everything that's on our mind. That's just simply not the case. So there are times where I think walking away is just a lack of courage, but there are oftentimes, especially online, where walking away is simply the wisest thing to do. The world that is real is the world of the relationships that exist in your life, the people who are close to you. That's where silence becomes complicity, I think, where you have the ability to actually do something in the lives of those around you. Just blasting your opinion online is not changing the world.